Welcome everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. Today we are going through paper 1 of June 2023, May 2023, so last year's exam paper. So get ready. We are going to go through this one. Here is question 1. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Have a go. Right, question 1. Work out 8.46 divided by 0.15. So what topic is this? This topic is dividing decimals. So how do we do that? We've got step 1 is we change this to whole numbers or integers. And then step 2, we have to simplify or keep dividing. And so now I've got 8.46. I'd like to put it in the form of a fraction, 8.46 divided by 0.15. And now I can see how many place values I need. I've got 2 place values at the bottom, 2 place values at the top. In other words, I'm going to be multiplying by 100, top and bottom. And because it's the same place value, I don't need to worry about doing anything at the end. So now I am going to continue this. So I've got 846 divided by 15. Okay, so I've got that. Now I need to simplify this. So what numbers go into the top and the bottom? Does 2 go into the top and the bottom? This is an even number, this is an odd number, so that's not possible. Other easy numbers are 10. They don't end in 0, so that's not possible. Another easy number is 5. This ends in 5. This doesn't end in 5 or 0, so I can't divide by 5. What about 3? Now, this is a large number. How do I check that this is divisible by 3? Well, I add the digits. If I add the digits and my answer can be divisible by 3, then that's possible. So let's look at this. 8 plus 4 plus 6, that gives me 8 plus 4 is 10, plus 8 gives me 18. Can I divide by 18 by 3 to get a whole number? I can. That gives me 6. So I can, this is divisible by 3. So this is just a trick. So I'm now going to actually work this out. So I'm going to do 846 divided by 3. Does 3 go into 8? It does. 3, 6, it goes in twice. Remainder 2. Does 3 go into 24? Yes, it does. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 28. So that's 8 times. 21, 24, that's 8 times. And 3 goes into 6 twice. So my answer is 282. And I can divide 15 by 3 gives me 5. Now you can see it's not divisible by 5, but what I can do is I can double this because I can go to 10. If I can go to 10, then I can easily divide this. So what's 2 doubled gives me 4. Or let me just do this twice. So I've got 282 twice. 2 plus 2 gives me 4. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1. That's 5. So this gives me 564. And so 564 divided by 10 is nice. 1 place value here. And so my final answer becomes 56.4. Okay, nice, comfortable start to paper 1. Let's look at the next question. Question 2. I'll give you a few seconds. Have a go at this question. Okay, so question 2 is work out 7 3/8, take away 2.5. Give your answer as a mixed number. So what topic is this? This is mixed numbers. Now, we are familiar with this. This has come across in primary as well. So what are the steps for this? So step 1, I need to change this to improper fractions. Change to improper fractions. That means my top number, numerator, will be bigger than my denominator. Once I've done that, I need to check if I have the same denominators. And as you can see, I've got 8 at the bottom here and 2 at the bottom there. So they are not the same. So I need to think about LCM. Once I've got them the same, I can subtract them. So that's my step 3. And then step 4 is give your answer as a mixed number. I need to change back to mixed numbers. Okay, so let's look at this. So first thing, I've got 7. I multiply by the denominator. So the bottom number I'm going to be multiplying, and the numerator I'm going to be adding. So I've got 7 times 8, 56, and then the numerator I add, 56 plus 3 gives me 59. So my first fraction becomes 59 over 8. And now I convert the second one. 2 times 2 equals to 4. Add the numerator. 4 plus 1 gives me 5. So now this becomes 5 over 2. Now I can spot 8 and 2 are not the same. So what is the LCM of 2 and 8? LCM of 8 and 2. And that gives me 8. So this stays the same. I can now multiply this by a number to get me 8, and that must be multiplying by 4. So 5 times 4 gives me 20. 2 times 4 gives me 8. This can stay as it is, 59 over 8. Take away that. So now I have the same denominator. So I've done step 2. Now I go to step 3. I subtract. 59 take away 20. 9 stays as it is. 5 take away 2 is 3. So that gives me 39 over 8. Okay, and now I look at how many times does 8 go into 39? 8, 16, 24, 32. 40 is too many, so 32 is 4 times. And remainder, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Remainder, 7 over 8. Okay, and that is my final answer. So I've done my subtraction, I've changed it back to a mixed number, and if I check, I don't need to simplify, and the question does not ask me to simplify either. So that is my final answer. 4 7/8. Okay, and if you are here for the first time, tuning in, subscribe to our channel. Now, the GCSE exams are happening very, very soon, so we will be practicing paper 1 every day until paper 1 exam begins. So subscribe so that you can join in on the live lessons. And if you are finding this beneficial, share this with your Contacts. Here's question 3. I'll give you a few seconds to do that, a few moments to try that. Okay, question 3. A cube has a total surface area of 150 centimeters squared. Work out the volume of the cube. So we've got a cube. We've got the surface area. And we've got 150 centimeters squared. And we've got the volume. So first of all, what topic is this? You can see it's a combination of cube, surface area, and volume. So this is like a problem-solving question. So there may be many ways to do this question. So what are our steps? So I am going to step 1, just visualizing step 1. I'm going to visualize the cube. Okay. I am going to be using the area that it's given me. So surface area. Okay. And then I am going to be using surface area, and then that should help me find the volume. So those are my 3 steps. Okay, so let me imagine what a cube is. So a cube has all the sides that are the same. Okay, so all of the sides will be the same. Let's call it, I don't know what it is, so it's going to be x. Okay, so a cube has a total surface area. So let me think about the surface area now. I've visualized it. Surface area are all of the faces. So how many faces are there? So you've got the front and the back. So front and the back. You've got the right-hand side and the left-hand side. And then you've got the top and the bottom. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And those 6 sides give me 158 centimeters squared. So can you see where I'm going with this? So it's not telling you do this, but there's an invitation here. You know, it's inviting you to think about the surface areas. And from here, you can see what we're going to do. There are 6 sides that give you 150. So we're going to do 150 divided by 6 sides. Okay, and that gives me, what can I do? So these are both even numbers. So I'm going to divide by 2. Half of 150 is 75. Half of 6 is 3. Okay, now I can do 75 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 75? 25. 25 times 3 gives me 75. So that's 25. So each of these is 25 centimeters squared. Now, this part here is a process mark. Just by doing this working out, you get a process mark. The next thing now, so this is an area. So how do I find out what the length is? So I'm going to do x is going to be the square root of 25. So the square root of 25 is going to be 5. 5 times 5 gives me 25. Okay, so 5 times 5 gives me 25. So that's the square root of 25 is 5. So now I know what my length is. X equals to 5. So how do I work out volume? Volume of a cube is length times width times height. So volume equals to length times width times height. So in this case, everything is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And then I times it by 5. That gives me 125. So my units are going to be centimeter cubed. Okay, let me just put that here by the side as I did that. So 5 times 5 is 25. Times by 5 gives me 125 centimeter cubed. So probably there's a process mark here, and then your final answer is an accuracy mark here. So that is worth 4 marks. Okay, let's go on to Where's the other process mark? Actually, 1, 2, 3. This is a process mark. So far we have answered question 1, which was 3 marks. Question 2 is 3 marks. So we've banked 6 marks so far. Let's keep a tally. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And question 4, question 3 is worth another 4 marks. Let's add that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we're on 10 marks so far. Let's go to the next question. Question 4. I'll give you a few moments to try this question. Okay, so question 4 is the table shows information about the daily rainfall in a town for 60 days. So we've got rainfall and frequency, and you can see 0 to 5 and so on, and our frequency. Draw a frequency polygon for this information. So in terms of what is this topic, it's quite clear for us. It's a frequency polygon. So frequency polygon, what are the steps for a frequency polygon? So first of all, step 1, we need to find the midpoint. Or before I go into what a frequency polygon, what the steps are, what does it look like? So we have a frequency here. You can see that. And then we also have our x-axis, as you can see here. And a frequency polygon will kind of look like that. So it will kind of look something like that. So step 1 is I need to find the midpoints. Okay, so what are the midpoints of these class intervals? And then step 2, I can turn these into coordinates. And then step 3 is I can plot them. Now step 2, you could probably do this in your head. But let's look at this. So what's in the middle of 0 and 5? You may be able to do it just by looking. In the middle of 0 and 5 is 2.5. Now don't worry if you can't do this by looking. Let's work it out. You take each of the numbers, you add them together. So if we take the next one, 5 plus 10, and then you divide it by 2. So 5 plus 10 is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. Okay, so you add them together. 10 plus 15 is 25, divided by 2 is 12.5. The next one, what's in the middle of these, 17.5. Next one, 22.5. Okay, so we've got the midpoints. That's our step 1 done. The next thing to do is turn these into coordinates. Now, coordinates come as x and y. Oops, can you see that? X and y. So I've got my x coordinate here and my y coordinate, so I can change these into coordinates now. Okay, and now I am going to plot these. So 2.58. So I'm going to go across. As you can see, in the middle of 0 and 5 is 2.5. Okay, in the middle of this is 2.5, and I'm going to go up to 8 units. So you can see there are 10 boxes here. 10 boxes equals to 10 units. So I can just count the boxes. So 2 away from the top. So that's my first point. The next one is 7.5 to 24. 7.5 is between 5 and 10, 7.5. And I'm going to go up 24. So 20, 1, 22, 23, 24. The next one is 12.5, and I'm going to go up 13. So it's between 10 and 15, 12.5. So here's 10, 11, 12, 13. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Now I'm on 17.5. I'm going up 11 in between 15 and 10, 20. 17.5, and I'm going to go up to 10 and 11. So So I've done the next point. And the last one, 22.5 and 4. So what's in the middle of 20 and 25 is 22.5, and I'm going to go up 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I join them together like my diagram there. So using a ruler, I just connect up my plots. And now we have banked another 2 marks. So this is worth 2 marks. So let me count that. So we have 12, we have banked 12 marks. Let's go to the next question. Question 5. I'll give you a few moments to try question 5. Right, question 5. We have a sample set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A is odd numbers, B is square numbers, and we have to complete the Venn diagram for this information. So what are our steps? So what topic is this, first of all? We can see it's complete the Venn diagram. So the way I am going to do this is step 1, I am going to have a kind of draft working out before I go into this one, just so that I've got my working out clear. So step 1, I am going to put all my values in the sample. Okay. Then I'm going to do step 2 is I'm going to put everything into A values. Then step 3 is going to be A and B, the middle. A and B values. And then step 4, I am going to have my B values only. Okay, so let's do this. So my sample will have all these numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've got all my numbers. Now I'm going to go to A, which is odd numbers. So what are the odd numbers? 1 is an odd number, so I'm going to cross it out and leave it there, 1. 3 is 1, cross it out, put it there. 5 is 1, cross it out, put it here. 7 is 1, cross it out, put it here. 9 is 1, cross it out, put it here. So I've done A. Now I'm going to be looking at A and B values. So B is square. So I'm looking for square numbers that are also odd. So the first one is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 is in A. So I'm going to cross it out and put it in the middle. 1. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 is an even number. I'm going to cross it out and put it in here. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is here. So I'm going to cross that out, and it's going to be in the middle because it's part of A and B. And then after 9, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. So it's bigger than these values. Now I'm just going to check. I've done my A and B, and I've kind of touched on B values. Let me check for B values only. So I'm looking for square numbers. So I've covered them all. So this is quite messy. I'm now going to put this into my main diagram. So all the things that are not crossed out are 2, 6, 8, and 10. My A values are 3, 5, and 7. My A and B is 1 and 9. And my part set for B is just 4. So that is my final answer for that. Okay, so now I've done 3 more marks. Add that to my tally. 1, 2, 3 more marks. Now try part B. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, before I do part B, if you are here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, like the video. All right, so a number is chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability that this number is in the set B dash. So we need a probability. So probability is in the form of a fraction. It can be in the form of a fraction. And my denominator is my total. So how many values do I have? A number is chosen at random from the universal set. How many numbers are in my universal set? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 values. So that's my denominator. Find the probability that this number is in the set B dash. So B dash means not B. Oops. B dash means not B. So which ones are not B? So I've got 4, 1, 9 are part of B. All these four numbers and these three numbers are not part of B. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers are there. And so that's my answer for that question. So my final answer is 7 out of 10. So now I've banked another 2 marks. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. Question 6. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to do this one. Okay, so the scatter graph shows information about the ages and weights of some babies. So we've got a scatter graph here. We've got on the x-axis age and on the y-axis weight. So it says here, describe the relationship between the age and weight of the babies. So you can see here from this, that is a kind of, as you're going across the x-axis, it's going up. So this is a positive correlation. Positive correlation. And you can say, as age increases, the weight increases. Okay, so we've got that. I'll give you a few moments to do part B as well. Try and get my camera angle correct. Okay, I think that's enough time. Another baby has a weight of 5.8 kilograms. So 5.8 kilograms. Using the scatter graph, find an estimate for the age of this baby. Using the scatter graph, find an estimate for the age of this baby. So clearly this topic is scatter graphs. So what do I need to do? I need to do step 1 is draw a line of best fit. And then after I've done that, step 2, I need to read off my value, which is 5.8 kilograms. So if I count this, how many values do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 values. I've got 25 values. Okay, so I want to have the same number of values above the line and below the line. Now, it's important to use a pencil so that you have the same number of values above the line and below the line. As best as you can. So if I look at this line, I've got I'm going through some points. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points above the line, and I had 21 altogether. So approximately that should be okay. I think I'm using a green pen here, so if I make mistakes, then I'll be in a bit of trouble. So I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points above the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points below the line. So it's not perfect, as you can see. Now, you're not going to get a perfect answer, but you want to get as close to the answer as possible. So let me carry on. So here I now have 10 boxes here. 10 boxes represent 2 units. 10 boxes equals 2 units. So what does one box represent? One box represents 0.2 units. Okay, so I'm looking for 5.8. So I've got 5 here, in between 4 and 6. I've got 5, and each box is 0.2. So I'm going to be 1 square below 6. So this is going to be 5.8. I need to be as accurate as I can be. And I'm going to now read off my value. So I'm going to go across. So 5.8 is kg, and now I'm going to read down. And that gives me, again, same units as the same as the y-axis. 10 boxes represent 2 units. So this is 3.8 months. So my answer is 3.8 months. Now, the mark scheme, as long as you are within 2.5 to 4.5, you will be getting it correct. So there is, you can see the line of best fit can be slightly different. And as long as your value is between 2.5 and 4.5, you are okay. So this is now, my final answer was 3.8 months. So now I have banked another 1 mark and 4 marks. Let me add that to my tally. 1 mark and another 2 marks. 1, 2. So I now have got 20 marks. I've banked 20 marks, and I'm only on question 6. Let's go to question 7. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to try this question. Right, question 7. The price of a holiday increases by 20%. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. Work out the price of the holiday before the increase. So the challenge here is, what topic is this? Clearly, this is percentages. So I need to, what are my steps? Step 1, I need to have my diagram. I'm going to use the box method, which is to have a diagram. I'm going to be drawing a diagram. And then the challenge for this question is, what is the percentage? Finding the percentage. And then once I've found the percentage, I can then, step 3, get to the answer. So what are my things? So the price of a holiday increases by 20%. So I always start off with 100%. So this is 100%. The price of a holiday increases by 20%. So I'm going to add 20% here because it's increasing. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. So what is this 240? Is this 100%? Is this 20%? Or is this all of that? 100 plus 20 is 120%. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. So that is 240. This 240 represents 20%. So that is the key thing from this diagram. So this is 20% equals to £240. £240. Work out the price of the holiday before the increase. So before the increase is the 100%. So I'm trying to get to 100%. So what is my value? So now, how do I get from 20% to 100? I can multiply by 5. So I want to do 240 times by 5. Now, I can do 24 times by 5, then add the 0. The other thing I can do is I can multiply this by 10 and divide by 2. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 240 times by 10, which is 2,400, which is nice and easy to do. Then I'm going to divide this by 2. So that's the same as 240 times by 5. So this 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 2 once. Or 24 divided by 2 is 12. So that is 1,200. Remember, it's a non-calculator paper. So this is now £1,200. So there I have another 2 marks that I have banked. Let's add that to my tally. All right, we've gone on for about 37 minutes, so we're going to have to end the session very soon. Let's go to the next question, question 8. Okay, have a go. I'll give you a few seconds to do this question. So we have 3 marks. Okay, I'm just reading the chat. I didn't read this earlier, so my apologies. Okay, so I am reading your messages in chat now. I'm a little bit late. So if you have any questions, then do post it there. Okay, let's have a look at. Let me show you something before I carry on. If you are new to the channel and how you can make use of this channel. If you go to the channel, Maths Exam Revision, and if you look at the videos, you can, if you click on the video, in the description are practice questions. So you've got practice questions and answers. So you've got that for some questions. For other questions, you also have within the description, you have other exam questions that are linked to the topic. So you can do that as well as questions and answers. So if you're stuck on that, you've got practice there. If you go to live lessons, all the live lessons are there. So my plan is to do paper 1 from now until your exams. So tomorrow there'll be another lesson and so on. And then you can look at previous lessons that have been done. And if you go to playlists, you can see the live lessons are there, all of them in one place, as well as different exam papers. So you can see higher paper 1 from November 2021. If you click on that, you'll see there are videos, and it shows you how long each question is. They are subdivided. So that's interesting. And I have done one here. You can see here that each question is worth it takes different amounts of time to answer. So you've got some questions that are 30 seconds all the way up to like 5 minutes. So that may be helpful for you. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, let's look at question 8. Oops, daisy. Okay. Just let me write a comment here. Write your question. Okay, so let's look at question 8. The diagram shows a solid cylinder on a horizontal floor. So we've got this diagram. Pressure equals to force divided by area. The cylinder has a volume of this and the height is that. The cylinder exerts a force of 90 newtons on the floor. Work out the pressure on the floor due to the cylinder. So what topic is this? We can see it's pressure, force, and area. So we've got to see what we can find from the information. So step 1 is I would use my formula. Okay, so let's do that first because we've got different bits of information. So I'm going to turn this into a triangle. My pressure, I don't have any pressure here. Work out the pressure, so I'm going to put P here for now. Force, it says force of 90 newtons, so force is going to be 90 newtons. Area, I don't have an area here. So I've got 2 unknowns here. So with this, there's a slight problem here. I need to work out the area. So step 2 is this information they've given, height and volume, it must be linked to something else. So there's an invitation here that, or I have to kind of link this to other formulas. Other formula. And then I can work this out, step 3. So I want to work out the pressure. So first of all, I need to find out area. How do I find the area? So if I look carefully, I've got volume here and height. And this is a 3D shape. So what's the volume of a cylinder? It's going to be the area multiplied by the height. So that's volume. Volume is an area multiplied by height. So what's my area? I don't know what my area is. I do know what my volume is. It's 1,200. So 1,200 equals to, I don't know what my area is, times by my height, which is 40. So 1,200 equals to area times by 40. In other words, area is going to be opposite of this, which is divide by 40. 1,200 divided by 40. So I can see here area is going to be, the zeros cancel out. 4 goes into, so now I've got my area. Now I can go back to my original formula, which is pressure is going to be 90 divided by my area, which I've worked out as 30. So 90 divided by 30, the zeros cancel out, or it's just 3. So my answer is 3. Now, where are the method marks for this question? So usually there will be a process mark here when we do 1,200 divided by 40, and then the other process mark will be using this formula. So those are the 2 method marks or process marks which we should be looking out for. All right, do we have time for one last question? Yeah, I think so. Let me just bank these. These are 3 more marks that we've done. 1, 2, 3 marks. So far in today's sessions, we've covered 5, 10, 15, 25 marks. Let's look at the next one. Question 9. 9 is a very nice, easy question here. So I'll give you a few seconds to try that. I'll have a look at the comments as well. Okay, so use these graphs to solve the simultaneous equation. So 2 take away 2y equals to x, and you've got 2y equals to 3x take away 22. So you've got one graph here, another graph there. Use these graphs to solve this. So you can see here they both cross. So that is what we're looking for. So what is this point? So you've got x and y coordinates along the corridor, down the stairs. So you've got here along the corridor, this is 5, then one more, so this is 6. And then down the stairs, you've got -1, -2. So you've got -2 there. So 6 minus 2. And so that is what I put in my answer, 6 minus 2. Okay, and that is it. So that's a nice 1 mark there. And we are nearly, we have a little bit more time actually. We're nearly close to the 1 hour mark. So let's do a few more questions if we can. Here is question 10. It's worth 4 marks. Have a go. Okay, I think that's enough time. Let's have a look at this question. So here's a pentagon. So we've got pentagon. Pentagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Angle AED equals to 4 times angle ABC. Work out the size of angle AED. You must show all your working out. Okay, so how do we break this down? So what topic is this? This topic is angles in a shape. So this is the sum of angles in a shape. So we need to remember our formulas from there. So what are our steps? So first of all, step 1 is we need to identify what the angles are, because we've got this bit here. So we need to decode that. So identify angles. The next step, step 2, is to work out the total angles. So step 2 is total angles. The sum of angles. And then step 3 is we can use that to then identify the unknown angles. So that is going to be form an equation and then solve it. And then step 4 is we will be able to find our angle. Okay, so let's look at this. So angle AED equals 4 times angle ABC. So AED, it's this one here. ABC is this one here. So one of this is 4 times the other one. So I'm just going to put here X. The other one is going to be 4 times as much. And I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to call this X and call that one 4X. Okay, so I don't know which one it is, but I'm going to use a number that I can easily calculate and see which one matches the description. So let's call this 10. If this is 10, that becomes 40. If this is 10, that becomes 40. So let's match the sentence. Angle AED, this one, is 4 times angle ABC. So this one is bigger, this one is smaller. So this one should be bigger, that one is smaller. And you can see it's going to be the bottom part. This is 4x and this is x. So I've just substituted a number that I can easily work with and see which one matches that sentence. So I've got 4x and I've got x. So I've done my step 1. I've identified the angles. Now, step 2 is, what do these all add up to? So it's a 5-sided shape. So you can remember the formula, which is n minus 2 multiplied by 180. Okay. There is another way you can do it, is use your rules of shapes. So in a 4-sided shape, a rectangle, you've got 360 degrees. And then if you add another side to it to make it 5 sides, you're adding another triangle, which is 180. So 360 plus 180 gives you 6 plus 8 is 14, carry the 1, so that's 540. So that's one, if you like, quick way of doing it. Or you use the formula, which is 5 take away 2 times 180. That's 3 times 180. 180 is close to 200. 200 times 3 is 600. Then we've added 23 times, so take that away. So 20, 40, 60. 600 take away 20, 40, 60 gives you 540. So that's either of these ways you get your total number. So that's 540. So I've got my total angles, or my sum. Now I need to turn this into an equation. So I know all of this adds up to 180 plus x plus 4x plus 135 plus 110 gives me 540. Okay, so what does that give me? 4x plus 1x is 5x, plus I've got 100, 200, 300 there, 20 plus 35, 45, 55 plus 10 is 65. So 35, 45, 55, 65, and I've got 100, 200, 300, 365 equals 540. Now I need to remove the 365, so minus 365. To simplify that, I've got 5x. 540 take away 365, so that gives me, let me do that working out by the side here as column value, 365, borrow this, 10 take away 5 is 5, I can't do 3 take away 6 is 13, take away 6 is 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 4 take away 3 is 1, so that's 175. And now I can divide by 5 both sides, divide by 5 both sides, x equals 2. This working out I'm going to do by the side again, 175 divided by 5. 5 does not go into 1. 5 goes into 17 3 times, remainder 2. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So that is 35. Now I've found out what x is. Now step 4 is to find the angle. Remember, this is 4x. If you do this quickly, you might stop there, but you have to check this is actually 4x. That's what we're looking for, AED. AED is 4x. So now angle AED which is equal to 4 times 35. So that gives me, that's the same as 4 is 2 times 2. So I'm going to do 35 times 2 times 2. So 35 times 2 is 70, times 2 is 140. So that is my final answer, 140. Okay. Can we squeeze in one last question before the hour mark? So that is worth another 4 marks. Let's see How many marks we're on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we've banked 30 marks. And we are now on grade 6, maybe close to 7. So let's look at question 11. Question 11, I'll give you a few seconds to do that one. Okay, question 11. What topic is this? So we can see we are multiplying and dividing by numbers and letters. So we are dealing with indices. So what are the steps? So write this in the form ax to the power b, y to the power c, where a, b, and c are integers. So step 1 is I can actually work with numbers x or y. It doesn't really matter. So I need to cancel out numbers, or simplify them. Step 2, I need to simplify or cancel out x's. And then the last step is the y's as well. Cancel out y's. Okay, so let's look at this. So what does a squared mean? A squared means it's the same thing being multiplied twice. So I'm going to write this out. 6, x to the power 5, y to the power 3 times 6x to the power 5y cubed, all over 3x squared y to the power 7 times 4x y to the power minus 3. So if I look at cancelling out the numbers, I've got a 6 here and I've got a 4 here. So I can cancel them out by dividing by 2. So I can divide by 2 here and divide by 2 there. So if I divide the 4 by 2, I'm left with 2. So I'm just going to write here times 2 here. And this cancels out. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I'm going to put 3 here. Okay, so I've got that here. Now, if I look closely, I've got a 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom, so they will also cancel. Now I've got a 6 here and a 2 there, so they can also cancel because they're even numbers. So I'm going to do the same here, divide by 2. That gives me times by 3 here, and this 2 cancels out. So I'm just going to rewrite this with the numbers. So I've got only 3 left. I'm just going to rewrite this 3x to the power 5 y cubed, and I've got x to the power 5 y cubed all over x squared y to the power 7 times x y minus 3. Okay, so I've dealt with the numbers. Now, if I look carefully, you could also multiply this out. 6 times 6 is 36. And then 3 times 4 is 12, and then you can do 36 divided by 12 will give you 3. So you can use both methods. Next thing is I've got the same terms, x's. So if I'm multiplying the same letter, I can add the powers. So you've got x to the power 5 plus 5. Okay, I've got y to the power 3 plus 3 here. I've got x to the power 2, and this is x by itself, which means it's a 1, so 2 plus 1. And then I've got y to the power 7, take away 3 here. So I can now continue simplifying this. This becomes 3 bracket 5 plus 5 is 10, y 3 plus 3 is 6, x to the power 2 plus 1 is 3, y 7 take away 3 is 4. So I've got that now. So now if I look again, if I'm dividing, then I can subtract the powers. So this is now 3x, 10 take away 3, y 6 take away 4. So this gives me 3x 10 take away 3 is 7. Y to the power 6 take away 4 is 2. So that is my final answer. 3x to the power 7, y squared. And I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. I'll see you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.